Test. Test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3. So now it seems like my audio is working. I don't know. I apologize. I have no idea what caused my audio to quit. Now I'm kind of behind the storm, so I'm going to try to catch back up to it. But at least you can hear me now. This is the Weather Monkey. If anybody has just found me on YouTube, I was streaming earlier and my audio was choppy. I tried a few things, nothing seemed to help. I thought maybe it could be my connections on my MacBook. So I disconnected my connections to my capture cards. I disconnected my mic. And nothing seemed to help. So kind of made me think it was the connection to YouTube that wasn't working well. So I ended the stream. Now I restarted another stream. I have left Waterloo, Iowa. I am now in Independence, Iowa. Up here a few more blocks, I'm going to make a right turn and I'm going to get on US 20 and go east. I am familiar with Independence, Iowa. I've been through here many times. I have a daughter that went to school in Cedar Rapids, and coming out of Winona, Minnesota, where I live, to get to Cedar Rapids, one of the ways was through Independence, Iowa. So I know one of these corners I turn on. I think it's the next one. No, I think it was the one I just passed up, actually. So let me turn here. I'll go around the block. And then interstate, not interstate, but US Highway 20 is about 3 miles south of here. And I will get on US 20 and head east. I'm sorry that my stream dropped. Well, the volume dropped. Something went on with it. So I ended the stream and started a new one. It'll give me some experience at how I put two streams together later today or tomorrow and make them one stream. I'm sure it can be done. But I am the Weather Monkey if you just started watching. And I am in Independence, Iowa. And I am chasing a cluster of storms that started southwest of Waterloo. So hopefully when I get on US 20 and head east, I'll get back out in front of these storms. used to go straight here, and in, I don't know, 10 miles or so, maybe 15, picked up Interstate 280, is it, or something like that? I don't remember. And it took me into Cedar Rapids. So I've been back and forth through here several times. But as you can see, the storm is advanced in front of me. Hopefully, I can get back in front of it here. Watching the stream earlier, I came out of Highway 63 south out of Minnesota, south of Rochester basically, and picked up these storms as they were developing and moving towards me. So I got around the south side of the storms. I purposely went around them and basically sat on the south side as they moved north. I'll probably follow these into basically where I was last night. Behind me, it's pretty much clearing up. We will continue eastbound on US 20, just outside of Independence now, heading towards Dubuque, Iowa. Earlier, but I basically do this storm chasing as a hobby. Anytime there's a chance for storms within a 200-mile radius of where I live, if I could drive there in a day, in the morning, and watch the storm and get back home by midnight, 1 in the morning, that's what I want to do. There is a storm to the southeast of me that I'm watching right now. There's also one to the north. Like I'll be taking the same road back back to the old mic I was using, since the stream is volume is working again. If I can find it. Unless my sound's okay. If my sound's okay, I'll just leave this one. Let me see if I can check it again.
Matthew Cooper.
Yeah, it sounded okay. I muted it when I answered the phone, but I can hear it. It's not going to be able to hear after I muted it while I was on the phone, so. So there's a couple other spots where storms are developing. There's a storm developing over by Mason City, kind of working their way up towards Blue Earth, Minnesota. There's a couple storms that have developed over in my neck of the woods, up near La Crosse, although they don't seem to be that strong. And then there's more storms that have developed over by Dubuque, south of there, across the river, into like, I think it's the Davenport area. But you can look on the map and see. I don't really like looking that close at stuff when I'm chasing storms and I'm on a highway going 65 miles an hour. So everybody who's watching, if you haven't liked this stream, I'd like you to hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. If you're not aware, I did have a stream up and running. I better put my hands back on the wheel tighter. I was running a stream, and some reason the audio started going in and out, and I tried a few things to fix it and nothing would fix it, so I ended that stream and restarted a new stream. So maybe I should slow down a little bit here and let the rain stay in front of me. turning my wipers on in anticipation of this heavy rain that's coming up in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Just like it started. Well, that was interesting. Got the sun bouncing off the top of that thunderhead. Back at it. Now we're coming out of the rain. Phone I gotta grab. Wait, the side windows are all fogged up. Here comes a little bit more rain now. don't know if I can show you the top of this storm or not, but let me see if I can raise my camera. And that's not even the top of it. It's pretty well up there. I can look at radar and see how high that storm top is, but like I said, it's kind of hard to do when you're driving. And my eyes aren't the greatest. Actually a shelf cloud from that storm that's behind us. That's the storm behind us. We can concentrate on that one later. Since I'm kind of leery of my volume, I had to stop my stream earlier because my sound was cutting in and out. So I had to quit the stream and then restart it. But I have to check every now and then to see if it's working. So if you hear me repeat myself, it's because I'm listening to myself. There's actually a shelf. That's the stuff. Well, it's doing it again. I don't know what's going on, but it's cutting out again. front of us by looking at the radar. Doesn't look like it's moving at all. It's like it's sitting there waiting for this storm behind us to pull it in. So it sounds like my sound isn't working again. What's going on. So we'll see what happens when this storm catches up to this one over Dyersville that doesn't seem to be moving. Let's see if this works. I made a change, but it doesn't mean it's going to make a difference. So we'll see what happens when this storm catches up to this one over Dyersville that doesn't seem Let's see if this works. Nope. But it doesn't mean it's going to make a difference. What happens when this starts? It's just, it doesn't seem. See if this one makes a difference. It seems like no matter what mic I use or how I try to set it up, it still doesn't want to continuously send my audio feed. I don't understand why. Okay, I've turned it. I put it back on my MacTop, my MacBook Pro, my laptop. So I'm going to test it and see if it's working any different. Okay, I've turned it. I put it back on my laptop, my MacBook Pro, my laptop. Okay, obviously it did. So either you haven't noticed the skipping of the audio, and I'm the only one who knew it was doing it or heard it, because I had it through my infotainment system, sound system. I was using my iPad showing my stream, but running the volume through my infotainment system through Bluetooth. Now, I don't know if it's been skipping like that the entire time, and it's a Bluetooth problem with my infotainment system. I don't know, but it seems to be working now, because it wasn't earlier. And I used the one mic, and the rain kind of drowns out the sound. No pun intended. So let me check it again real quick, and if it's fine, we'll leave it that way. I don't know, but it seems to be working now. Yeah, see, because it wasn't earlier. So it's working now, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. For some reason, it wasn't working. Now, my next question is, I'm parked on this bridge, and it says no right turn, next intersection. So I don't know what that means. I'm gonna go find out, and then we'll get back to the storm, because I'm a kind of curiosity guy. You put a sign up and I don't understand it, I'm gonna go see what it means. It says ramp, one way. Well, what other way would it be? I don't know. So I have a choice. Obviously, back to the sign. Some people must... I can't figure it out. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense to me. But now I gotta make up my mind if I want to go into Dubuque or just start heading north. Because there are storms that are developing that I will run into if I go north. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just start heading north. Unfortunately, back up to La Crosse from this area, there is no 4-lane. It's all state highways and US 52, which isn't any better than a lot of state highways. So let's turn around here, get our bearings again. And that storm system out of Waterloo is just turned into a line. So I don't expect much from it. And that storm that was in front of us, that I said was going to merge into the storm line behind it, it has done that. Its energy has been pulled in to the storm that was behind it. So let's head north. Sorry for all the inconvenience about the audio. It just kind of dawned on me. Maybe I should turn the Bluetooth off and see if that helps. And obviously it did. So we're in Dyersville, Iowa. Home of Anybody got any ideas? What's so special about Dyersville, Iowa? Yeah. If you build it, they will come. That's all I'm going to say. Actually, I think I should have turned right back there. I think this is just going to take me out into the country. But we shall see. Well, it says speed zone ahead, so maybe it does go into town. If I'm heading north, that's all that matters. So now, well, I guess you've heard me the whole time. I'm thinking, what do I need to repeat myself for? Because you didn't hear it, but everybody did hear it. I was the only one that didn't hear it. So don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. I kind of brought that difficulty on myself. So at this point in time, I apologize. Now I gotta find out where I am. I know I'm by Dyersville, Iowa, but where by Dyersville, Iowa? I know I'm to the west of Dyersville, Iowa, and I know I'm going north. That's about it. So I think I'll go east here. Over to I don't know, it's a US highway. Like I said, my eyes aren't the greatest. They're good for just, looking out and seeing things, but I'm almost 70 years old and the readers come in mighty handy. Well, I shouldn't say almost. A couple months I'll be 70. So that's what's behind us. I have to read that. Yeah, it's 52 north. I thought 52 north went into Dubuque. Did they change it? I don't know. I guess I'll find out in a few minutes. Run up the edge of that storm, and then we're going to go into the storm, and who knows how long it's going to take till we come out the other side, but we're going to parallel it. sucked into it. Okay, it says this is Highway 52. It says Iowa 136. It doesn't say anything about it being Highway 52. Believe it or not. So it says I'm in New Vienna, Iowa. So let me expand things out a little bit. So we could go north to New Vienna. Yeah, this map, I don't know. Sorry. I'm sorry. This map doesn't really tell me anything. Let me check this other one here. If I have maps on here. There it is. Okay, it says I'm on 52. So I'm just north of Dyersville. So let me take a look at this. I don't see a bowing anywhere. I was going to say if there's a bow in it, we would get straight line winds. But I don't see that happening either. And it basically runs from here all the way up to Prairie du Chien. I don't see much happening down below it either. So if I go up north on 52, I'm going to have to stay on this side of the river, because if I cross the river in Prairie du Chien, the road's closed. I have to go all the way to Boscobel, and I don't want to do that. Or I could just keep following these storms east, but then I'd have to go through Dubuque, and I don't want to go through Dubuque in a pouring rain. And the only other storm that's by itself is pretty far south. The only storm by itself is near Preston, south of Springbrook. So I don't know if I want to go that far south. So I think I'll just run straight north. There are storms moving over central Wisconsin near Viroqua, going towards Madison. But they're all light. There's not much to them. There wasn't much to the storms today either. So I think I'll just run the gauntlet as I go home. That's about the only thing I can think of to do. So Or I could just sit here and wait for this line to come through and then run north with the line. I don't know if I want to do that. Just call me the Rain King by the time I get home. Let me turn here and go back this way a little bit and show you the shelf cloud that's making its way this way. Shelf cloud that's been behind me. What's a drop off there on the side of that road? It's got to be at least 2 inches to the curbing. I mean, not the curbing, but to the blacktop alongside it. So I keep saying I hope everyone's hearing me, but I think everybody heard me all along anyways. Note to self, do not hook my iPad Bluetooth to my infotainment system. Because it didn't seem to work. And it's kind of upsetting because I stopped the stream and restarted it because I thought there was something wrong. I keep saying I hope everyone's hearing me, but I think everybody heard me all along anyways. Note to self, do not hook. Yeah. So it's still working fine. So I don't know. I suppose if everybody hits that like button and becomes a subscriber, that's fine. As anybody who's watched my streams before knows, I do this as a hobby. I don't care to be monetized by YouTube. They want to make money off me, that's fine. So I wish because of that, I wish I could like play music during my videos, because when that does happen, they send you a note saying any money made off this video will be given to the artist who had the video. Well, like I care. If they told me, yeah, you can play the videos, but you're not going to make any money off your video, I'd be like, because I play music? Fine. I play music during my videos. I wouldn't care. I could, play like Alan Parsons Project, Phil Collins, some of the jock rock music. Are you ready to rumble? As a storm is moving in. Stuff like that. I could take requests and play the music during the storm. And like I said, I don't care. I do this as a hobby. I don't plan on being monetized. So if I could do it without getting strikes and YouTube could make the money or pay the artists from whatever they make off the revenue, that they earn through their advertising, or I don't know, however they do it, that'd be okay with me. I should send somebody an email and ask them that. So as you can see, this shelf cloud's moving in. There is lightning behind it. Are we in a good spot here for this shelf cloud? Might as well check and see. We probably are, because that storm that was out front, it just absorbed it. So I'm sure it's got a lot more energy right here. Yeah, that storm that was out in front of it just disappeared on the radar. This storm here sucked that storm right in. Lighten it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. And there's definitely a flow into this storm. There's some low clouds that are being pulled in. So if I can get a good picture of a wall cloud here and have a little sun behind it, that'd be nice. Roll the window down a little bit. It's not raining. Maybe we can hear some thunder, which would be one of the videos I would play. I can see a little lightning behind there. Sometimes you do get spin-ups on these clouds as they move in, especially when they absorb another storm. There's kind of a bowl coming out of it now. I also use my extra cell phone for a camera, but for some reason today it's not working. And I don't know why. called a continuity camera. But it doesn't seem to want to connect. I know I'm doing something wrong. Tomorrow I'll remember it and I'll be like, yeah, that's pretty stupid of me. So there's one lone storm over by Hampton, Iowa, which is southeast of Mason City. And there's either a tornado warning storm or a flood warning. There is a tornado warning north of Blue Earth. That was one of my original targets today. So I should have went that way. Let's see if it's radar indicated or if it's it says funnel cloud reported, so it's not on the ground. Go a little farther north. This is like the looks like the storm's weakening right here. So I think I'll go north. Thought 52 went into Dubuque. Is that a business 52? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the maps when I get home. can start out, and it'll change for every town. And then at a certain point, it quits. And it won't change again. It's like the location services, after a certain amount of time, stops working. I don't know. Next year I'm going to have to find like a GPS puck or something like that you can put on the roof of your vehicle and then plug it into your laptop, and it'll not only give you the coordinates, it'll actually give you the named location of the town. That wall cloud move in some more. Because right now we're getting out in front of it, and the angle I'm going, the cameras don't do much justice. Like I said, I have a camera that I use, but for some reason it won't connect today for the side left and right. So that's the rear camera. That's the center line. Cell tower, I'll turn around. Might be a little town up here. Get on the other side of it and I'll turn around. go east. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. It's a good question. Oh, restricted width, 7 miles ahead. Well, that's not a problem. I'm used to seeing it say road closed 7 miles ahead. The detour is a 45-mile runaround. Problem is, when I leave, I'm going to have to make sure I get above the crown on that road there. So that's what's going on over there. Changed cameras. Yeah, I'd probably be better off just finding a driveway. Let me get up to the crown of this road, and I'll turn around and go back north again. I'm just not going to make a U-turn in the middle of the road on a crown where I can't see traffic coming from over the top. Like right there, there's a car. So this is a good spot right here. Next time I want to be able to face west with the front of the vehicle. expanded again. But as far as these storms, they actually look like they're weakening. Kind of hope they do. I don't feel like driving home in torrential rain. But the ones farther south did. They've expanded. They kind of look like they weakened a little bit too. Not as much as the ones up by me, but a little. So. These have weakened a little bit, and I think I'm gonna pull into Quick Trip. Get a refill on my drink. These pumps are at an angle. Normally they're straight in. I don't know why they're at an angle here. It's not like they don't have room. So I'll probably wish I had parked up by the building when I come back. So I'll be back in a minute. We're going to my favorite convenience store here and get a refill on my drink. Oh, I should probably shut the car off. I'll be right back. picked up a few things to bring home, and I got my drink filled. And I can hear the thunder out there. I don't know if you've seen the lightning under the lights here. It's kind of an eerie look behind the building off the bluff, isn't it? So, let's carry on. Something tells me they want everybody to go out this exit. That's why they angled the pumps. I would bet that's why they did that. So okay, let's drive through some rain and lightning here. This place is really busy in the summertime. There's a lock and dam here. I'm not sure which lock and dam it is. They don't tell you on the sign either. Then there's a boat launch and a lot of warm season activities. There is a spot up here when you start going up the hill that doesn't have cell service. It's a dead spot. So we'll see if we can hold cell service through that spot. Down the one bar. I guess we'll know if it freezes. dead possum. Can't pretend anymore when they're dead. Can't play possum. We got run over by a car. Much more to see here tonight. So, I think I'm going to end the stream. Sit back, put some tunes on, and listen to music for the rest of the way home. So everybody enjoy their evening, and if you have work tomorrow, there's worse places you could be. So everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching and putting up with my audio problems that I guess were only on my end. Maybe they were on both. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was my problem. But nevertheless, thanks for being here with me. If you hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. So, have a good night. Till next time, thank you.